All right, ladies and gentlemen. So apparently, the new Doom: The Dark Ages trailer that we reacted to just a few days ago is sparking some massive controversy. And I wasn't even aware that any of this was going down. And I think it's mainly because I'm never usually involved in the console wars. But apparently, Xbox fans are not happy over what happened in that trailer. Because as you guys are aware, if you watch that trailer on my channel, or maybe you did it on someone else's channel, they basically made the entire trailer dedicated to Sony. They made the entire trailer dedicated to PlayStation 5 and the PS5 Pro, and it seems like Xbox fans have a major problem with it. We have an article saying that the new Doom: The Dark Ages trailer is causing some controversy, and we also have a full entire page of Xbox fans melting down over it. So let's get into this article, guys, from Game Rant. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, at first, I thought when I read this, or when I saw the headline, I immediately thought it was BS. I was like, there's no way that there is this level of controversy when it comes to Doom: The Dark Ages. But then when I looked through this particular website, and I looked and I saw from purexbox.com when they're talking about it, apparently there's like 62 comments on this thing, most of which are complaining, some of which are not, but I just found it to be very interesting. So we're going to start here and then move our way to that website. So it says some Xbox fans feel apparently left out by the newest Doom: The Dark Ages trailer, which is aimed exclusively at PlayStation users. The game director opens the video by saying, "Hello everyone out there in Sony land. This has frustrated some fans, especially considering Doom is an Xbox first-party title." Well, here's the problem. Xbox doesn't give a crap, right? Xbox has made it very clear that they're going to be focusing on trying to essentially be a publisher more so than an exclusive party. Like, they're not really trying to do the whole Xbox first kind of a thing anymore. They are focusing on just being a publisher. They're also focusing on Game Pass. They're focusing on allowing to have their services everywhere and their video games everywhere. That seems to be their focus. And when it comes to Doom: The Dark Ages, they already know that the people are going to mostly play on Game Pass. They already know that the majority of the sales is not going to be on Xbox. Nobody's going to be buying the game on Xbox because they have it on Game Pass, which is where most players play. So they are focusing on the two avenues that they know are going to actually generate revenue and sales, which is going to be PlayStation and PC. And I feel like Xbox fans should understand this. And I think most of them do, right? I think most of them understand that there's not going to be sales on Xbox. I'm not saying that it's because it's a bad console. I'm just saying because most people play on Game Pass. So that's obvious. And I think Xbox knows this. So they're focusing on the other avenues that they're going to actually garner sales from in the hopes to hype them up and say, hey, we're releasing this game on your console too, so make sure to pick it up. I think that's mainly what's happening here. But Xbox fans are apparently unhappy with the latest trailer, and which seems to be directed solely at PlayStation users. ID Software recently released a new trailer showcasing Doom: The Dark Ages environment and brutal gameplay, though the video is oddly described as something special for Sony fans, even though the new Doom is an Xbox first-party title. Doom: The Dark Ages is the upcoming entry in the massively popular, long-standing FPS franchise, and they're known for throwing players into brutal, bloody scenarios to fight endless waves of demons. Then apparently revealing the cosmic realm. The game is an Xbox first-party title set to launch on Series X and S and PC as well. The trailer is strangely aimed only at PlayStation users, which has irritated some Xbox fans. From the very start of the video, Martin opens up with "Hello everyone out there in Sony land," and later says, "We wanted to give the Sony fans something special." He also emphasizes how well the game performs on PlayStation 5 without any mention of Xbox or PC. Well, again, it's because, number one, you don't have to mention how well something runs on PC because PC is the better platform. Like, it should run better than anything else. Unfortunately, these games get ported very poorly, so that sometimes is not the case, but ultimately when they get patched, they do end up running better on PC than everywhere else. So nobody's really going to talk about the PC performance because everybody kind of expects that. And again, the lack of mentioning Xbox is simply because they already know they have you. They have you on Game Pass. You're not going to be a sale. You're going to be a renter. That's basically it. They want to keep your renting income coming in every single month. That's how they view Xbox fans. So let's look at some of these comments, because some of these comments are very interesting to me, and some of them are, they know what's up, and other people are clearly a little bit upset. So we got this person, Medical Alert, saying Microsoft doesn't give us stuff about Xbox anymore. They are moving to becoming Microsoft Studios, a third-party publisher. I agree with this. AWP says they're probably doing that just to make sure PlayStation gamers know that it's coming to PlayStation, which, again, I agree with that too. This person responds to Medical Alert and says it definitely feels and seems that way with their actions. They definitely don't seem to be giving anyone a special reason to buy an Xbox console. There isn't. There's no reason to buy an Xbox, by the way. Literally zero. They've said this. They said they're moving away from the entire, focus on Xbox, which is why they had that trailer and that whole marketing scheme where they were like, this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, they did everything being an Xbox except for an Xbox, and they're trying to do that to try to make people understand that they're not focusing on this anymore. They're focusing on Game Pass and being a publisher. That's what their focus is at. The last thread is Game Pass on Xbox consoles. They probably keep some loyal fans that have Xbox consoles, and some sales still happening, but it's a lot lower numbers. Phoenix says Microsoft are chasing the money. The most money is to be made on PC, true, then PlayStation, then Nintendo, and lastly Xbox. The Xbox console and the Xbox gamer has become an afterthought for Microsoft. Let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. You're lucky if you can find an Xbox console, and Spencer himself said that Game Pass was not right for everyone. This is just another example of why I don't see a future for Xbox as a console. They just don't care for us in the slightest. Again, I wouldn't say they don't care about you. I think it's mainly they know that they have you in the exact bubble that they want you in. They turned you guys into consistent monthly renting income, where you are renting your games, you own absolutely nothing, and you are going to continue to rent your games because you view it as a really good deal. And for the average gamer, it probably is a really good deal. For 20 some odd dollars a month, you get the ability to play all of these brand new games day one on Game Pass. It is an unbelievable deal, right? And for people who don't care about owning anything, they're not going to mind. So they know that they have you for that $20 a month, and you're going to keep giving it to them every single month. And that is what they're trying to build with the Xbox fan base that they have. But everywhere else that they don't have, they're trying to garner actual, real, tangible sales that is going to lead to their games hopefully being successful if they're lucky enough. But, considering that the majority of their fan base just rents their game, there usually ends up being a problem. Unless you are a very good game, then people will take you home regardless. We've seen this happen through and through so many times. You got people that will, basically cope and see with the fact that their favorite ideology game has failed because they blame Game Pass for its failure. Look at South of Midnight. They're like, oh, South of Midnight failed because it's on Game Pass. That's why everybody's renting it. Nobody bought it. Meanwhile, you have all these other games that are releasing day one on Game Pass, and everybody's buying them. Doom the Dark Ages is going to be the same exact thing. Expedition 33 was a prime example. Oblivion Remastered is another prime example. There are so many games that came out day one on Game Pass that massively succeeded. Starfield is another one as well. Is it anything more insidious in the trailer? Is it possible that PlayStation has some exclusive content too? I'll tell you this, if they do release exclusive content on PlayStation, there is going to be a massive uproar from Xbox fans. I can only imagine. Ricky says we get it on Game Pass and they get mentioned in the trailer. Fair trade. The Series X is fully moving to a Game Pass console. Pushing the game on PlayStation to get sales is where Microsoft will make the most money from the title. True? The base PS5 sold tons, so it's the target that most devs aim for, not Series S, not the Switch. And with the PS5 Pro, it's the console devs want to show out for. Things could have been so much better for Xbox if they got rid of the parity clause and treated the Series S as a base model and the Series X as the Pro. Still can, but after this, Xbox's users are all second class. Treat the loyal users who bought into their ecosystem as a second thought and kowtow to the ones paying money, I guess. Then this person says, seem very unlikely that Doom will have exclusive in-game content on PlayStation 5. That would be an uproar. To be fair, the bulk of the money will be made probably on PlayStation and PC. Why would they hype it up on Xbox when no one is going to buy it there? Everyone is playing it on Game Pass. Corporation says you are special in 2025. Nice. This person says, I imagine this is simply because the majority of sales will be on PlayStation, whereas Xbox and PC has it on Game Pass. The money made from those sales will far outweigh any additional folks signing up for 1 month using a discount code to play it and then canceling. Everyone else that already has a sub, well, they already have that money, so why go searching there? 100%. That's basically what this is. This entire thing is them understanding their player base and knowing that the people they have renting every single month are going to continue to rent every single month. This is going to be a game that would technically, increase Game Pass subscriptions, but not to the point where they're going to become profitable by selling this game strictly on Xbox and focusing on Xbox. They have to release it everywhere. That's the only way they stand a chance. This person says, I understand your point, except Microsoft are not focusing efforts on all fronts. They're clearly singling out PlayStation as being their focus. If that's not the case, where's the trailer that heralds the Xbox in a similar vein? I get it. In your eyes, Microsoft can do no wrong, but this is a poor decision on how to treat your most loyal gamers. It is at the very least cack-handed. Why were there not a need to single out the PlayStation gamer? Or do Microsoft think they're a little bit dense and need to have things explained to them very slowly and using words with no more than 2 syllables? Your average PlayStation gamer is going to be just as switched onto Coming of Doom as the Xbox gamer is. And the stuff like this just shows a lack of regard that Microsoft has for the Xbox gamer. The loyal Xbox gamer that has stuck with them year in and year out and lined the Microsoft coffers. Yeah, this is why you don't be loyal to any company. Hey, like thinking that a company cares about you is the worst thing you could possibly do. And I think they are finding out very quickly that Microsoft has moved on from its own player base and is desperately trying to find outside influence that could possibly save them as a company. Otherwise, we're going to have a different level of console wars in the next generation. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.